Welcome to Sports Sushi. Your chefs for tonight are Sports Plug Russ, serving up the spiciest sports takes of the week. Sterling Furrow, rolling the X's and O's into an analytical maki platter. And finally, the moderator who always keeps the sake flowing, DJ Slow Boogie. Now grab those chopsticks and get ready, because your order of fresh and raw sports sushi is up.
Yo. Welcome. It is another Wednesday, another episode for you. Sports Sushi. We are here today, courtesy of Gratwick Enterprises. If you want to tune in to us live, you can tune in through Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. I think we're on Twitter as well. So you can go and find us on all forms of social media. Twitter, it will be under Sports Sushi, all one word. If you want to find us on Twitch and YouTube, it'll be Gratwick Enterprises or Gratwick Podcast Network. I can't remember, but Facebook is the odd man out, which might be Gratwick Enterprises. So, Sterling, our show host Sterling, had other obligations. So we have our esteemed leader, our producer, Chris joining us today.
Sean McDermott's best friend.
Oh no, anything but that.
We're an injury-depleted team today. You're down.
Yeah,
too.
we some of us are playing injured, so
I think it's spinal.
my neck, my back,
my
neck, and my back. All right, so let's jump it off with no further ado. What you got for us, Rush, for today in sports?
Yes. Today in sports, in 1960, Wilt Chamberlain scored 58 points, the most ever by an NBA rookie as a Philadelphia Warrior. They beat the Pistons 127-117, and nobody knows if it's even real or not because they didn't have no film. I said what I said. We saw the 81.
But yeah, man, look, that's yeah. And the 81, the anniversary for the 81 just came up not too long ago.
It did. Yeah, I'm just fucking around. Wilt Chamberlain probably did all that shit because if you watch him on them videos, he literally looked like you do on them half court goals. Like when people play like half of the half court.
I'm telling you, Wilt fucked 1,000 women.
I thought it was 10,000.
That was 20, 30.
We could just say that it was at least.
Maybe it was 20,000. It was definitely over 10,000.
Yeah.
Who's the cat that plays for the Golden State Warriors?
They think it's his child.
No,
yeah.
It's not a think. It's not a think. It's true. Porter. Is that his name?
Yeah, Porter. Yeah.
What's his first name?
Otto Porter, I think.
Yeah, Otto Porter. Yeah. Yeah. He in the league.
No,
he got a ring.
He looked
just like Will. Man, Otto, you got to go ask your mom about your grandma and ask some questions, answers.
Hey, man.
Did you guys ever see the math on all those women?
Nah.
Like, so I think it was like 20 to 25,000, but somebody broke down the math, and it was like he had to be banging I think it was like something like 10 chicks a day, just one after another, having them rotate through the bedroom in order to hit those numbers. Over the years that he said it happened in.
I mean, the man spit on somebody and asked how the weather was down there. So
yeah,
I can't really put anything back past him. What
kind of logistics do you have to have in place to manage 10 women a day coming and going?
There was no
anybody.
Here's the logistics. There's no TV. There's no internet. There's no social media.
Where are you having the time to go find the next one?
All you can do for fun is listen to music, get drunk, and do you know what? That's all they was probably doing. And when Wilt's in town, shit.
When you real height, hey man, how they say, he said, when you tall, all the hoes gonna fall.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So
the flow all the way to the flow to the.
Hey, so I mean, for Wilt, man, it shouldn't have been as hard. It should have been hard.
The math defies it. You just don't have enough hours in the day. It's not that he can't have as many as he wants, but even if you're like literally bringing him in willingly,
who said he was giving it his all every time?
Yeah, he could have been just.
He could have just been in there, just like, hey, come on, shit.
Yeah. Even if you got him lined up at the end of the bed, it's still the numbers just don't break down right. You just don't have enough time.
So what does Constitution sleeping with a woman like?
Wait. No, I have this to ask. If we don't believe this, we don't believe the 100. We can't confirm the 58.
Well, people that were there for the 100.
Is the video of Wilt real? Is Wilt real? Yes, because we see Otto Porter. That's how we know he's real.
My thing is
Stop
this.
playing with me, Chris.
I mean,
Will
look,
did all of that.
technically, if it counts, like, hey, you could do 10 women if you don't complete the whole task. You know, if you kind of go halfway through it, or you just kind of like, oh, I just put it in, that counts as one, and move on to another one. I mean, you know, these are nuances that we got to take into consideration.
There are two stats in human history that just do not break down to feasibly possible. One is Wilt Chamberlain's women count, and the second is the fucking pyramids. Neither one of those things, by the definition of what they say it happened in, like you're stacking blocks and you're stacking women every second of every day. It's just not sustainable.
I'm not gonna touch either of those. But what I am gonna touch is the fact that if you did fuck that many women, one of them niggas gonna look like Otto Porter when they have a baby.
Yeah. So
and that nigga
the point
right now
is that,
and Michael Jordan might be Jimmy
by
Butler's
his
daddy.
numbers, I'd say like a tenth.
That shit might be real. That shit might be real. Jimmy Butler might be Michael Jordan's son. I believe the myths. TikTok is an evil place that has great stories.
Yes,
and that's the one that I believe. Hey, you niggas
Chris.
said, hey, hold up. Them niggas said the earth was flat for about 3 years, so I get to say that Jimmy Butler is Michael Jordan's baby, and I get to say Otto Porter is Wilt Chamberlain's baby. Or not his baby, but his his grandbaby.
His grandbaby. I can tell you like this, Chris, if you have not dove into why Jimmy Butler is Michael Jordan's kid,
please do.
The information is
damn. No printer, bro.
Yeah,
that's a rabbit hole I need to dive down.
Yeah, I spent a good 30 minutes. I was like this. I said,
there's no denying the timeline matches up. Look at Jimmy Butler.
Nah, man, they look alike too. They got the same approach.
Look at his game.
It's the same.
That shit is from the 80s.
It's the same.
He be punking teammates. Jimmy Butler is a terrible person to some of his teammates. Nah, man.
Yeah, Jimmy's not, you know.
Too much match up. Too much matches up, man.
All right, so look. All right, fellas. So we got enough talking about Jimmy Butler, not Jimmy Butler, fucking Wilt Chamberlain's bedroom numbers. So let's get on to the next subject. We had
+2 make 4 and Otto Porter. I'm tell you.
All right, let's get on to the UFC 283 results. We had a couple championship fights. We only going to go and gloss over the main card. All right, so look, we had the main card was Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill. He was facing off against Glover Teixeira. You know, his trip up on that.
I just know the name. Glover Teixeira.
Yeah, so he and Glover Teixeira went at it for the vacant light heavyweight title, vacated by Yuri Prochazka.
Okay.
Yeah, Yuri Prochazka. So who was the champion at the time, but had to vacate for injury. So they faced off. Jamel Hill effectively won the championship and retired Glover Teixeira. And also to be noted, Brandon Moreno beat Davison Figueiredo for the 4th time. They had a I don't know what you call what is it after a trilogy? Okay, we'll just call it 4th fight. The 4th fight.
The one before best out of 5?
Yeah. So the Ocho, not the Ocho.
What nigga said? I don't know the elegy before. What's the elegy before?
Quattrology.
The quattrology. That sounds right. But the quattrology between Moreno and Davison Figueiredo. So
hold up, did you make that up? It's not quattro. What the fuck is it?
It sounds right to me, so I'm rolling with it.
Right.
4 is quattro.
Yeah, quattro. The quattro.
But traceology, so
that shit's.
But yeah, man.
I need that on the shirt. I'm sorry.
Quattro.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But other than that, man, UFC card was a pretty decent one. You have the guy that just knocked out Izzy, Alex. I can't. I don't know his name, but they call him Poton. Yeah, that guy, Alex Poton. I'm just gonna refer to him by his nickname. The current was it not lightweight? What was Izzy's? Damn, I'm having a fucking brain fart. This fucking nerve is just fucking with me right now. But he is looking to kind of challenge challenge Jamel for his newly acquired light heavyweight title. So we have a very interesting landscape coming up in in MMA when it comes to UFC, when it comes to this particular division. So all thing we can do is just wait and see what happens with this light heavyweight division. But also to be noted that I think the next pay-per-view event will be the trilogy with Leon Edwards and Usman, if I'm not mistaken. Also, yeah,
I know.
yeah, that's going to be a good one.
I ain't shit. I ain't said nothing to Usman. Ooh, what?
Yeah.
Quick man hugs for me.
Yeah, man. I mean, I like Usman. I like them both, but I think Usman comes back a little bit more prepared, and he gets the win. Um, but with the UFC landscape, you got guys, fighters that come and go. We just had Nate Diaz, hang it up. Well, he became a free agent. Francis Ngannou, like I just said, Glover Teixeira hung it up. But one of those names I mentioned might be mixing it up with our next subject, which brings us to Jake Paul signs with the PFL. So Jake Paul signs with PFL. He leaves, not really necessarily leaves the ring for the octagon. I think he's going to be doing both. And I think the offer on the table is for one of the guys we just mentioned, Nate Diaz, who is a free agent. Him and Jake Paul, I'm not sure if they reached an agreement, but they are in talks with possibly setting up a match between one another. It will be a two-part fight. One will take place in the ring. The other will take place in the octagon, giving both guys a
Oh man, y'all, welcome
right.
to CPG Gaming. Man, oh my god.
All right,
Shane, you a fool. What's up, Shane, bro?
Yeah.
I'm gonna whoop your ass when I play the Rams, bro. I swear to God, I'm about to dub you, bro.
He gave you the what's up, babe.
Bro, oh, yeah, I have no idea. What's happening, Shane?
All right, man. So, but yeah, so the details about the proposed fight or the proposed matchup with these guys is that one's going to take place in the ring, the other will take place in the octagon, giving relatively both fighters an advantage in their respective rings. A lot of people have been chiming in saying that Nate Diaz is a proficient boxer. I mean,
I just want to see the shit talk.
that is a given,
and they're gonna sell off of that alone.
And I got to say this, man. Look.
Chris said, "Fuck this shit."
Yeah, he's like,
fuck the Paul brothers. Seriously.
Like, look, man. Look, I gotta give him props, man. Look, I'm not, I don't like Jake Paul. He cherry picked his fights in the ring, but for him to actually get out there and get into the octagon and step into the the ring like with these other guys, like there's some dogs out there, but look, and if he gets in there with Nate, man, look, I got to see it.
Do you believe he's fighting fair fights, or do you believe?
No.
Do you think they're fake?
You talking about the boxing? No, I don't.
No, hell no. But I think if he else hop out here in this MMA, yeah, he's got a real chance to get his ass whooped or whoop some ass. So I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch that, and I think that people kind of caught on to the boxing, so that's probably why they was kind of getting stale on Jake Paul's boxing fights, because he was fighting older MMA guys, guys that kind of that had a a knockout history, but they just were just over the hill, or they just for whatever reason.
I know a forest in Japan I'd like to see him fight in.
You said a what?
No.
Oh, you said a forest. Oh.
No, Ed Reed, Bethune-Cookman.
Okay, look, but yeah. So if you looking at, stay tuned for the Jake Paul news. You'll find out things as soon as we find out about him. But count me intrigued. I would like to see this happen at some point if it does ever go down. But let's go ahead and get over to the NCAA football. All right, man. So we're going to go ahead and touch on the subject really quickly about the NIL deals. If you guys been a long time listening to the show, you will remember our very first show where we had Miami Hurricane, former Miami Hurricane Tyrone Bird, and Miami Hurricane super supporter, my boy Dale from South Beach Dale.
What up, Dale? Go Celtics.
So
Yeah.
they kind of touched on this subject, man. And, a player from Florida had that quarterback Jaden. What was his last name, Russ? I forgot it.
Oh,
Maybe you should do a better job at doing your research, Mr. Sports moderator guy. So the guy is Jaden Rashada.
Yes.
So hey man, Shane want to know if you would trade him Pat Surtain for 2 firsts.
Oh my
All
fucking
right.
God. No! Stop
Take
asking
that
me
man's two
shit.
first. Take
No,
that
I'm
man's
not.
two
No,
first. Are you
stop.
out of your
Y'all
mind?
don't. No.
You could draft two number one
This-
corners.
Yeah. You could get two Pat Surtains though.
You know, and you know what else? You know what else I could turn into? I could turn this back into Jaden Rashada because I'm not trading my nigga Surtain the second.
All right, man.
Real quick, I just the only thing because I know we want to get Sterling back in and we want to talk about some other NIL deals because there's a lot that goes on with this like story if you don't know from the outside and people are thinking like, oh, the kid's trying to hustle up for some more bread, and some people think that the Florida Gators fucked up, and really you have to go into what a collective is, and it's just a big fuck up by some people pledging money, offering money that they didn't have or did not plan to give.
Something like Hollywood.
And yeah, there you go. And the kid waited for that direct deposit to hit, and that shit hit different, but not in a good way. It didn't hit at all. And so he's about that bitch. So I think it creates a mess. We can get into that like next week, but it does create a little bit of a mess because he got to find a school now. The Gators got to deal with the collective and why they offer money that they can't provide. And I think it just looks really bad on every end except for the kid. I don't blame the kid at all because if I offer to do a service for you and then like you don't pay me and I don't do it, you gonna get mad at me?
I got one word for that kid. Escrow.
Hey man, look.
Make sure they got that cash.
I got 2 words. I got 2 words for him. Boomasuna, nigga.
All right.
Because you can throw that pill.
Look here.
But nah, hey, ABC.
I mean, but when it comes to Florida and these new recruits, they kind of had some bad goals when it comes to their quarterback of recruits. One kid they had to cut because they found him rapping, rap lyrics, and he was saying the N-word. He's a white guy, but ironically, just today he got a offer from a HBCU, Albany State. So
Josh Allen.
Well, Josh Allen did do it too.
I fully believe. Yes, I believe
Josh
that.
Allen,
I wouldn't be surprised if I heard he did it. Which,
He did do it.
No, he did.
I'm saying it doesn't come up as a surprise. Yeah. But when you look at Josh Allen, he looked like he was a. Yeah, you sang every word to my nigga. My nigga did.
Yeah, he's a California boy, dog. He a California boy. But no, man, look. But yeah, like, come on now. Like, with the Allen thing is like you got to come up. We could get into this topic another day. But if they rapping lyrics, man, you got to kind of let that shit slide, dog. Like everybody.
I think it all honestly, and it may be like, damn, but it depends on the team's vibe.
Yeah,
y'all gonna be like, you should just go in the locker room and say, y'all gonna let him make it.
Yeah.
So let me be real. You gotta go in the locker room and say, y'all let this nigga make it.
Look, man, I'm gonna say this. Look,
if they say no, then shit. Hey,
I'm gonna be real with y'all. I have white friends. They say it. I don't look at Chris. They say it. I don't blinch because I know them. I know their heart. I know that they're witchcraft. But the thing is,
fuck with all that.
No, look.
I don't think it's necessary to say.
It's not necessary to say.
But
look,
I mean.
Look, my thing is this.
I just lip sync it when I'm like, if the rap verse is coming and we're all vibing to the song, I just lose my,
you just lose the tone. You just lose the tone down. He dropped the tone. But like, look, man.
I don't be fucking with that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm just, I'm not going to fault a group of team members that say we still want to part of a team.
Yeah, and that look. what I'm saying is that was a situation.
Yeah, hey, I'm shotgun. I'm just trying to say, shotgun. You feel me? I'm like, not me.
Look,
not me.
I'm gonna say this.
I can't stand white boys that say that shit. Look, like, it's just it's corny as fuck. Like they're just doing it to get a rise out of anybody and see if someone responds.
Well, no. It's a difference. I ain't talking about the ER. I'm talking about the A. And the thing is, like with Like look, I've been in the teammate setting.
ERA. There's
Yeah,
some things you should not
and I
say.
say so. And and I was speaking as far as like how Russ was saying, like it depends on the discretion of the team. Like your team is, if your team, he said every time we say we're gonna fight,
hey.
and like and those are the things that you gotta do as a team.
It comes down to like the Richie Incognito type of ordeal. Like, I didn't agree with anything he was saying, like all that like nonsense. But the team was like, we accept him as our teammate.
Yeah,
You know
and then in those walls and in that setting, like look,
if they fuck with you, they fuck with you. You know what I'm saying?
And if you accept it, you accept it. That's what I'm trying to say. But don't think that it's a free pass to say whatever.
Yeah,
because it ain't. But Florida is a different place.
But Florida, no, I'm not saying it's a different place. I'm just saying, but Florida's fucked anyways because they got a whole bunch of shit to deal with, trying to figure out now. Because now they look like they gonna renege, no pun intended, on all their offers. You know what I'm saying? Like they look like they about to like every time a recruit goes to Florida and they figure out some sort of money that they're gonna get from the collective or whatever Florida does moving forward. They're gonna look at them and say, "What's that mean with that little kid? Is you really gonna give me my money? Because last guy that came here, y'all promised 13 mil, and he didn't see now none of that shit." So
I think it affects their reputation.
Their recruiting gonna take a hit. You know what I'm saying? Like so, I think
gonna have to do some guaranteed contracts. Pay that shit up front.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to do something. They're gonna have to do something because now they're kind of in a bad situation. Because if I'm a recruit, Florida not on my list because I can't trust them to pay the bill.
Yeah,
I could come down there. I could come down there and get ready. If he would have said, "Okay, I trust you guys," he would have been week one. We would have said, "Hey, Jaden, you get your check yet?" And they said it's in the mail. Nigga, it ain't coming. So you know what I'm saying? Like, they tried to pull a fast one and it didn't work. And
I'm gonna be real. 13 M's is a big thing to get over.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you promise me $13 million and I don't see anything, my nigga, like you could at least slide me $5 and then say, hey man, we're gonna work out together. You know
half? Can't give me half?
Yeah, you know.
So,
like damn.
Yeah, so I would do the same thing.
6, 7, something, 6.5. Give me something.
Yeah, you can't.
He looked at his phone and looked at Bank of America, and that shit said nothing. He said, "That's the same as yesterday. There's something wrong." Hey, I'm just saying, man. That's not.
Yeah, 13 mil is just something that
I agree with what he did. I think that the school should fix it, but we'll get into that when we talk about what the NILs need to do moving forward, because it is a wild, wild west out there. Because along with the good deals that don't get done, there's a lot of bad deals that don't get done, and some good deals that do get done, and some people that get deals and just fail. You know, like Spencer Rattler.
But you got to pay. All right. So, speaking of pay, let's get into our next subject, Ed Reed and Bethune-Cookman. Now, this story has been taking, a little crazy turn after crazy turn after crazy turn. So it started out with Ed Reed being announced as the head coach for Bethune-Cookman, and him coming out a short while after saying that the university wouldn't
put their ass on blast.
Yeah, he put him on blast. Say that they bullshitting. They ain't going to recognize my contract, and that they couldn't come to a deal. So at the end, he wasn't going to be the head coach. Now, players have spoken out. Ed Reed actually released a speech and went viral, and a bunch of people had some mixed emotions about it. But all in all, other events start turning out. The players started protesting at the school, wanting the faculty to either resign or give Ed Reed the head coaching job. Now, so I'm gonna go ahead and defer to our guys here, Russ and Chris. So, what are your thoughts on this situation? Who's at fault? Who's in the wrong?
Cookman, for sure. The school. Now, like I know, like when this type of stuff happens, or when anything happens around, like, a historic black college, like we kind of act like how people do with some of these quarterbacks. We defend them and coddle them and say like, oh no, don't attack them. Like he showed us what we showed us, and then the response to it. If you listen to the response by the president, Like, bro, all you did was basically try to throw Ed Reed under the bus, talking about some nonsense about listening to rap music about hoes. That means nothing about what he was talking about. Like, you want to say that you was promising all this stuff to the students and promising all this stuff to the kids, and we spending $1 million on this, $1 million on that. If you was really spending $1 million on this, $1 million on that, the student upper body presidents and all of them, they wouldn't be dealing with the fact that you're not communicating this. Students wouldn't be protesting mold and all this other type of shit around the campus. Like, this shit gotta stop happening at HBCUs. Like, it really do, because the mismanagement of funds happens way, 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 way too fucking much. And then every time someone brings it up or every time someone calls it out, then we have to go through this whole fucking process of, well, you can't really talk bad about them and you can't really blame the school. Yes, you can fucking blame the school. This makes no fucking sense. Like, for his answer to be, why was Ed Reed's office dirty? Well, because he wasn't really hired yet and we just moved the other guys out. Nigga, please. What? Like, what? Why was there trash in the building? Well, it's just been renovated after a hurricane. Like, my niggas, like, what are you talking about? You're giving all these motherfucking excuses. It means nothing to the fact of what you actually see. And then you want to talk about when students talk about, oh, my apartment's still moldy or my apartment still has mildew. And then you want to come out and have the audacity to say some shit like, well, it wasn't mold, it was mildew. Mildew turns into mold, stupid dumbass nigga. Like, that's what happens to it, and it makes you sick. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the fact they taking pictures of this, and the fact they showing this, and then the faculty is just like, yeah, we're going to take care of it. No, you're not. And that's the problem with HBCUs, because that should be their slogan. No, we not. Like, you just going to come here, you're going to praise the fact that you black, and then you're going to leave, and then we all going to keep it on the hush-hush that we don't keep shit up like we supposed to. And that's not all of them, but this one especially, because the shit I saw was detesting and gross and all of the above. It was horrible. You know what I'm saying? He had the right to be screaming and be mad about this shit. And then Reggie Theus, what the fuck is your problem, bro? Like, you come out and you want to talk about, well, this isn't the man we hired. No, y'all knew who y'all was hiring, and you knew what you showed them. And if you show someone some bullshit, don't get mad at him if he tell you it stinks. Like, what the fuck are we doing? And just the whole operation of, like, we heard something bad about ourselves, so now we're just gonna band together and bash the people that's talking bad about us. Like,
nah, bunker mindset.
Yeah, this shit is terrible. Like, this shit is fucking terrible. And to say, like, oh, Ed Reed knew, and so he wasn't supposed to talk, nigga. Like, what the fuck? Like, that was Ed Reed knew. And then on top of this, if you listen to his interview, he would have come out and say like, "Oh, you can support passion in so many ways," and then a few moments later, you don't support passion by yelling and screaming. Oh, really? That's what we doing now. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is like this. It's laughable, but it's sad at the same time, and it's what happens every time some shit like this happens. Every time, like, something like this happens, all they want to do is say, that nigga not trying to help. No, he is trying to help. Tell the truth. Y'all fucking up around there, and y'all need to straighten that shit out. Like, otherwise, the students would not be out there. Because if you would have came out and told the students, we're spending millions of dollars, just give us time, we're gonna fix this shit, and you meant it, and you told them that shit, they wouldn't be coming out saying this shit. Like, come on, it's bullshit. Y'all motherfuckers is making y'all money, going home and living y'all lives, and everybody else is dealing with the consequences of not having it spread around the right way, however it may be. Talking about we having a pep rally so we can't get a practice field. Fuck. Come on, dog. This
Inconvenient truths should be the theme of this show.
Bruh. I swear to God, there's a little Trump in everybody.
There's a whole lot more inconvenient truths coming tonight.
Yeah. But no, man, like Russ is right, man. You know, a lot of HBUs have these issues. I remember a couple of years ago, TSU had a issue where it was it embezzling, if I'm not mistaken, where they were non-accredited. So if you went there and you tried to transfer or something like that, the transfers wouldn't go, and it was just crazy. It was a crazy witchcraft. But like, these things happen, you know, with these HBCUs, and man, it's
sad.
It's sad as fuck, dog. Because
they're in great places. As a person that spent a whole lot of time in the great state of Mississippi, bro, like, there's a lot of good out there, but like, if you don't like cultivate it and let people like let it grow, like by spreading the wealth, like, it's not gonna fucking grow. Like, that shit just gonna be dead. Like, it is, just dead.
Let me ask you guys this question: do you think it's it's as much HBCUs as it is smaller Mickey Mouse operations that don't have the operational logistics and pedigree of
No, it's
like
just
the
bad
bigger schools
people.
and programs. So you got to have like smaller,
It's just
less reputable people running the stuff.
no, it's just the bad in people. Like if you have funds that are getting allocated to the school and you're applying them, it will show. I watched UTSA grow to a commuter school to a fucking D1 for real, for real.
Yeah.
Like no. If
Yeah.
you apply the money where it's supposed to go, that shit is going to grow into something greater than it was before. No doubt. I saw it happen with my own eyes, bro. Like the shit that's happening at these places is a perpetual cycle because it's not just it's evil in people, period. If a person that has that in them sees a chance to take advantage and get a couple extra dollars for themselves, they gonna do it. And when you have a bunch of people that manage to get themselves in that situation, they gonna do it. And it doesn't happen just at HBCUs. It happens at every fucking university. But when you're trying to grow to be bigger than something you were, you can't have the same shit that goes on at fucking UCLA go on at your school because you're not big enough to take it on. You're like the loss is gonna be too great. You're gonna end up with a bunch of fucking buildings that are full of trash instead of being able to clean them motherfuckers out in one day. There's no reason why a Walmart can catch fire and they can clean that bitch out in one fucking day to have business back and y'all can't clean out some buildings. What? Like it doesn't make sense.
And I think it's like so like to basically kind of piggyback, and I'm trying to put my thoughts together here to kind of piggyback off what Russ was saying. They like I think it's I don't want to say how to answer Chris's question. I don't think it's they have the unqualified people running it. I just think that it's just the temptation is there, and another thing is that
Corruption hiding behind incompetence.
yeah, I just think that you sitting in there, you just get you know some people are just not as strong as as they might lead on to believe. But another thing with the HBCUs is that I think they do depend a lot more on donors, a lot more on donors contribution to help build up their facilities. And because the one thing I and look, I'm gonna tell you something about me. I didn't graduate from college. Okay, I went to UTSA and I dropped out. All right, it's still my school. All right, so Russell says, you know what? You're right. I did a lot of work at UTSA. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Them motherfuckers should be paying me. Okay,
I said they should be
they should be paying me. All right, after all the shit that I did for y'all, I'm responsible for 12% of y'all recruitings, enrollments. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off right there. But
niggas at a party.
yeah, shit. So but that's neither here nor there. That's a story for another day. But my friends that have went to UTSA and then went to grad school or left to go to other schools like HBCUs, the one thing they say is that once they graduated from their HBCU, immediately they got the calls for money, like for donorships and stuff like that. So I'm not sure. They said that it wasn't like that with UTSA. They got their calls for their student loans and shit like that, but it was never for contributions.
Like I said, like it doesn't matter who you are. It's all gonna move, and evil moves in all of its ways. And someone feels. I mean, you gotta ask. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's not the problem of asking. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta ask to get donors to donate. But like, it's what happens after. And so you claim you're doing all this stuff, but you don't see any type of movement. And it don't take as long as people act like it takes for shit to get cleaned up. You know what I'm saying? Like if you trying to court Ed Reed to be your head coach, why the fuck is his shit not spotless?
That's what I want to know.
Ed Reed might roll over because right now, I guarantee you, right now, if they were to say, "Oh shit, Nick Saban want to be the head coach of Bethune-Cookman," my bad, Bethune-Cookman, you don't think that motherfucking office would be spotless?
You
don't think the cafeteria would find out what the fuck he like to eat and have that shit ready? Yeah.
If Deion Sanders got folks in Colorado cooking soul food in the snow, you can go ahead. You can clean them goddamn doors
Deion
out.
couldn't get what he wanted at Jackson State.
Yeah. He got it in Colorado.
I'm just saying, like it's not like this did happen. No, there's a reason why this should happen. Until y'all fix that reason, which only y'all can fix
It's
for
gonna keep
us,
happening.
then shit is gonna keep happening.
All right. So we gonna keep happening. God damn
So
it.
y'all, because I didn't get to go to an HBCU.
Yeah.
I'm just black and it hurts me.
All right. So let's go ahead over to the NBA. Our next segment. So earlier, late last week, or was it earlier this week? Cannot remember. But my favorite NBA player presently, Patrick Beverly. Okay.
This is why we cover this nigga like every like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
find
dog.
a way
You know
to
what? Guilty. Guilty. Okay. I like Pat Bev.
Hey, that's cool.
I like Pat
cool.
Bev.
I ain't hating. I
Hey,
like
look,
Pat Beverly too.
If you know me, you know I'm gonna say
He's
one
what's
thing about
missing in
Pat Beverly.
basketball.
Bro, he's good for television. Okay.
You know
I
what my
always say
favorite
that.
thing? I'm sorry. You know what my favorite thing was? He said, "I'm sorry. Go ahead and introduce it, and then I'll
Okay.
tell you my favorite thing, because they don't gonna know what I'm talking about." Because
All right. So look, man. Ed Reed and Dame Lillard got into a little tiff.
dust up.
Little dust up.
It was
Basically,
Little Donnybrook?
basically not a Donnybrook, not a full on Donnybrook, but just a little, little passerby. Pat Bev, told him a couple of things like
Ruckus?
Pat Bev usually do.
Oh, he called him a soft ass nigga. I went and
Yeah.
replayed it a couple times so I could make sure I heard it. He said
Mhm.
soft ass nigga. I don't know what came before that because it was kind of muffled because the dude that was doing TV was talking too much.
Yeah.
But underneath that, that's why you got to get courtside seats.
Yeah.
But underneath that, yeah, he said soft ass nigga. And that's what made Dame say,
Say,
"Oh,
I
wait a
will
second."
beat your ass. He said, I will beat your ass. So they went ahead. It was at the free throw line with Dame was going to throw his free throws, and they got into it. But look, man, I'm gonna say this. And then at the press conference was what really made me, look at my boy Pat Bev and say, what?
Oh, I love his response to some of those questions that were.
Yeah.
The first question. That's the first question.
Go ahead, take a rest.
The first question when the guy was going over the game and said, Dame had stat AI, and he labeled his stats, and it's slow night, and he looked at him and said, "You could have just told." I'm paraphrasing. You could have just told me I had a good game against Dame. That would have been good. And in my head, I was like, "Ooh, that nigga gut punched him." But I said, "But it was facts though."
Yeah.
Because the guy was like trying to say he locked Dame Lillard up without saying he locked Dame Lillard up. And damn it, if he locked his ass up, then he locked his ass up. And I think that's missing from the NBA right now.
So and effectively, Pat Beverly locked up Damian Lillard the game before, and in the post game locked up the reporter. So
shackles.
So look, man, with that, like, this is how I'm gonna say it, like the disrespect from the media is crazy, dog. They be trying to sneak dishes, like, but I gotta agree with Pat Beverly. Like, looking at the stat lines is what Dame had 24 that day, and from a lot of people would be like, oh, he had 24. You didn't really lock shit down, but it was like I think he had 13 at the line.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's like Dame got to do his job. He gonna get his points.
Yeah.
But when I say it's something missing from the league, it's the fact that, like, defenders take pride in their work, and I love Pat Bev because as a defender, he takes pride in his craft and his work of making you work for your shot. Like, you could get 30, but then there's 30. Like I had to go
30.
work
30.
for all motherfucking 3 of them bitches. Like, I had to 24. We got 24. I got 20. I had to work for all of them hoes. And there's a difference. And when you watch a game, like, you can see the difference between someone that is like, I'm just going to be in front of you, and someone that's really making another person work. And I respect Pat Bev for that, because watching the games that he plays, I say he gives you your money's worth. He going to play D. A lot of these bitch-ass niggas don't play D. Like, fucking get in the stance and play some goddamn defense. And I respect Pat Bev for that, because a lot of these motherfuckers is too scared to get shook, too scared to get dunked on. So, like I said, the Tatum dunk, was it last episode or the episode before, when I thought the Tatum dunk was the best dunk because he looked Giannis in the eyes and dunked on him? Kudos to Giannis for fucking jumping. Because most guys would have just been like, nah, I ain't going to do that. I'm going to let him have the 2. No, you don't give him the fucking 2. And Pat Bev said, shit, if you're going to shake me, you really shook me, my nigga. But I'm going to be up in here. Hello. My name is defense. I'm here to keep you from scoring. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I like that about Pat Bev, and I think that a whole bunch of other players should adopt that shit because I think the NBA would be a lot better place if people realize that if you don't get 30, you could be the dude that keeps another person from getting 30, and that's just as fucking important. It's just not the flashy shit. It's not it's not on the stat sheet. They're not gonna see it. I wish they would point out more, like when a dude scores 24 or a dude scores 30. I wish they would say, oh, but he went 5 for 20 from the field, or 10 for 20 from the field, or 10 for 15 from the field. I mean, I'm my bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like 10 for 30, 10 for 30 from the 10 for 30 from the field, or 10 for 40 from the field. So like shit. Like you see niggas shooting like 40 shots, hitting like 15 of them hoes. Like 13 of them. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's glorified. Like, I like the fact that a defensive player lets it be known, like, no, I'm out here. I'm playing defense. And I'm going to let you know. And when I do get the victory and I do get the dub, I'm going to be happy about it. I get tired of people acting like Pat Bev shouldn't be happy about his accomplishments. Fuck you. Like, why shouldn't Pat Bev? Every time Pat Bev does something good and smiles and is happy, people are like, why are you mad at Pat Bev? Like what the fuck? We should all love Pat Bev.
Yes, man.
He is an embodiment of what you would want to be as a fucking NBA player. Like, I
tell
ain't
y'all
the best nigga, but I'm getting paid and I'm doing my thing. Like,
Who
and I
else?
ain't got to worry about the other shit.
Who else gave y'all great moments like the play-in celebration? Okay, who else gave y'all shit like that? Patrick Beverly. Okay,
Everybody says enjoy the little moments until they see Pat Bev doing it.
bro.
Y'all niggas
That sports moment lives rent free in my head. That's like my favorite sports moment in recent times. Is
Bro,
the play-in celebration.
I loved it. And I hated people hating, people laughing. I was like, so what you gonna do if he win a game and say that shit don't matter? You gonna say, oh, he don't care about it. They're paying him millions and he don't care. Like, come on, man. Like, nah, man.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
I like Pat Bev. Dame Lillard is still the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he is. Look, man, let me tell you something about Dame Lillard, man. This man has broken my heart as a Rockets fan.
Oh, I know. That's kind of why I like him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
What's up, keep up? How you
living?
Yeah.
My boy, keep up in this hole.
No, I don't know if he's in this hole, but I know he watches sometimes.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
You know, later, and I know that I was with him when Dame Lillard did that shit. I was with him, and oh my god.
Yeah,
and
I know
how.
I know how he gets. I've watched. Me and him watched a lot of Rockets games, so I know how my boy.
He finds me every baseball season though. That motherfucker finds me baseball.
Oh yeah. You can't escape him. Whenever any of the hometown teams start doing good, he'll find you.
But yeah, much love, Damian Lillard. Ha!
Yeah, so shout out to Dame time. But one thing I want to say before we move on, they always talked about Kobe bringing the Mamba mentality to professional sports. I think people need to go ahead and adopt Patrick Beverly mentality, Pat Bev's mentality, and somebody on the internet has dubbed it hyena mentality. I don't know why, but I find that hilarious.
Because he always
yeah, so
but
I can see that.
Hyenas are like that. They seem like annoying because they're
nuts and they're relentless.
But exactly. But if you fuck up, a pack of them gonna eat you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, but that's true. Like, I fuck with the hyena mentality. Like, defense, good defenders make offensive players play better, and they wash out the guys that are just pretenders. So I love them.
Yes. So we need. Look, we love the defense here.
John Marion. Shane Battier. Patrick Beverly. Hey, man, guys that dig in and slap the floor twice, man.
Oh yeah, they different.
Hey, I fuck with it, dog.
Yeah, they different. Oh, and then they slap the floor, and then they rub the court dust on their face.
Dorian Finney-Smith, get the dirt all up in that from the 94. You can feel it.
Yeah, you get that dirt dust, that hardwood dust in your face.
I love it. Hey, Jimmy Butler is a glorified one of them dudes. I believe he dusts himself with dirty court dust before every game.
Yeah, man.
Just to absorb himself.
Does something to
Never mind, I'm gonna go too far. But yes, defenders get love on this motherfucker. You got to play defense. Shout out to KG.
All right, man. So we're keeping it with the hardwood. We're keeping it with the hardwood here. Okay, so we're gonna go in a time machine and go back to where the Lakers took on the Memphis Grizzlies.
So this is the most. I'm all right. He already came on. He apologized.
Yeah, he apologized.
This was the most. That shit was so fucking high school. Like that shit was ridiculous. You had a game. I know, but you're 54. As far as the players are concerned, that nigga ain't no pedestrian, and you know it. Stop. You know what I'm saying? But like that was silly. But I mean, even though they apologized, they ain't had to apologize. Thank you, nigga. That shit was entertaining as fuck. And the
look,
Lakers came back and won that bitch. That
yes,
shit was live. Like, so
and it made for a
sometimes you need
good
that
first
shit.
take. Okay, made for a great first take. So, but that's why I kind of I put this in there to kind of segue to our real topic. You know, that is going to be our either or for the night. But
For
let's
the first, we got like another
yeah,
one, but this is
yeah, yeah. You know, the one that we had to flex
yes, this
for
got
the day.
flexed in.
Yeah, it got flexed for the day, and the other one gets moved to next week. But um, but real quick, man. Yeah, man. Look, man. Let me tell you something, man. You know, y'all know Uncle Shay love LeBron, man. And sometimes, man, y'all need to leave Uncle Shay alone, man. Look,
Yeah, you see him?
yeah, bro.
I leave him alone too.
Yeah, leave Uncle Shay
The Hall
alone,
of
man.
Fame tight end who's still
And
in shape.
and he could talk
That's
shit.
toned grown man
Yeah,
strength.
bro.
That's why he said he don't want it and his daddy don't want it because you don't. None of us do either. Uncle say, sit down.
I feel like this situation started with like jovial shit talking, and then you know how there's always like that one smack talk or comeback that goes just a little too far,
Yeah.
and then that person goes a little too far with taking it
Oh, yeah.
personal, and then now we're off and running, and now it
And
becomes
it
ego.
is like after both people go too far, you look at each other and say, "I'll whoop your ass." Well,
I,
now
I,
you
I,
gotta come. Now you gotta come whoop some ass.
Yeah.
And Uncle Shay said, I told him, shit, hey, look, I'll whoop your ass. And he said, then Ja came, shit, you don't want none. He looked over at T and said, shit, Usher, I'm about to make it burn in this motherfucker. Let it burn or whatever you want to call it in this motherfucker shit. Hey, hey, you
Oh
in
my
I
the
good.
feel like
fucking
I've had
floor
3 or
about to,
4 of these rounds with
hey,
Dave, where it starts
hey,
you're just talking shit, and then next
Oh
thing
yeah.
you know, you're butting heads, and you
hey,
got to dig
bruh,
in.
hey, I'm,
It's like the shit talking gets Andy up and it gets a
hey,
tad bit more
I
personal.
just want to
The
say,
the
T
curse
Martin,
words get a little bit louder.
Martin, my
Yeah,
bad. I said T
T
Martin. That's the
Martin,
quarterback. My bad. But
T
T
Morant.
Morant. I just want to say I'm glad because you'd have been trading places with the motherfucking flow.
Yeah, boy.
That motherfucker Shannon Sharpe was blocking real offensive linemen in his lifetime, and he
Yeah,
still
man.
looked like he could block a couple. There,
Yeah.
hey, I don't even know Dylan Brooks. You too, my nigga. Like Shannon Sharpe, really, really.
Look, man.
Hey,
Shannon
Uncle
look
Shay
like
Shay
you.
is Uncle Shay Shay for a
Yeah.
reason, man.
Shay
It
Shay.
ain't, you don't get caught Uncle Shay Shay unless you could probably possibly whoop everybody by just grabbing their wrist or
Yeah.
their arm real tight and saying, "Yo, you don't want this."
Or the back of your neck.
That was all that was missing from that whole altercation was Shannon Sharp grabbing Dylan Brooks by the arm and saying, "You don't want this."
Hell wrong with you?
You don't
Because you
want
see
this.
the look back he gave you. The over
Hey,
the
I
shoulder
sit
look. Hey,
down
look.
with the sweater cardigan
Let me tell you something.
jacket.
If you
I don't
ain't,
know what that's
if
called.
your ass ain't grow up in the country, that look means an ass whooping is quickly coming behind it.
Boy, someone said that that's that look you get for your mom when you hit her heel with the grocery
Yeah.
cart. That nigga Shannon Sharp look like saying, bro, I'm about to whoop everybody in this mother. Shannon Sharp like he was about to become the cat. Now, nigga, and this bitch whoop me. And everybody in the stadium would have said, shh.
Yeah. Been quiet as a church mouse, pissing on cotton. Let me tell you something, man. Y'all better leave Uncle Shannon Sharp alone, for real.
They
For real.
did. Niggas ain't want no beef.
Leave that man
Niggas ain't
alone
want no beef.
before you be a subject on
Boy,
goddamn first take. I mean, not
that
first take.
nigga.
Undisputed.
That nigga Uncle Shay said I'm in LA and there will be more than one regulator in this bitch. Warren G gonna.
All right, man. Look, let's go
I'm trying
ahead.
to tell you.
Let's go ahead. Let's go.
Boy.
Let's get to the either or today, Russ. All right. So the either or we got for the day, man, is that to be flex. It's which is better? Which one you rather attend? Would it be a live basketball event or live football event? So let's go ahead and lead off. Let's go with Chris for this one right here.
And like, it's an easy choice for me, but I feel like it's 2 different experiences. I feel like an NBA game is more of a reactive fan experience where you're cheering for plays that happened, and it's exciting, and the players do something, you cheer. Where an NFL game, I feel like it's more of an interactive experience where the fans have more impact on the actual outcome. You're cheering before the play, you're trying to make noise, you're trying to alter the defense. So for me, and with the violence, you can't be 80,000 people going nuts over a hard hit and a big play on defense. So the NFL has it for me all day long on this. But I do appreciate, and I have been to plenty of NBA games and do like the experience, but for a completely different reason than why I like going to NFL games.
What you got, Russ?
Nah, for me it's a basketball game, 100% every day, all day. Now I will say I do agree. The violence part is a big factor. Like I'll never forget was it Maurice Claiborne against the Eagles when he made that hit and caused that fumble. You could hear that shit in Plano, like the stadium's in Arlington, by the way. You could hear that shit all the way through. So that's live, but like there was nothing in the world. There's nothing in the world that could compare to when I saw LeBron James play against the Mavericks live when he was in Cleveland. I think it was like in 2003. But like yeah, like a young, ready to go LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a different experience to see humans that big move fast, like humans that are small. When they fly through the air, dunking, even regular passes. Besides the violence part of the NFL game, besides the hitting, all of it, it's. I mean, of course, it's both a great experience, but there's something about the 10 guys on the court. You don't really know like basketball. You don't really know like what's gonna happen. Like football, like you can kind of the game's gonna be the game. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna have your run plays, you gonna have your pass plays, your sacks, and everything. Like you know, it's gonna happen. Only in basketball you're gonna see a guy that's like 7 feet tall take that bitch 94 feet and fly through the air and yam that bitch and then yell at everybody. And in the same token, you can see a guy that's 6'3" come down and beat him down the court and do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So like I just think the back and forth nature of a basketball and this is what I'm talking about like two good games too. Like the back and forth nature of a basketball game compared to the back and forth nature of a football game. Like game 7 against the Warriors against the Cleveland Cavaliers, like on TV was bogus. Like imagine what it would be to just have been up in that. Like you saw back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like I imagine the Bills and everything, and plus it's outside. So like if you go to a Bills game when it matters, like the AFC Championship last year, yeah, it was dope, but it's cold in the bitch. Like you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
you're so drunk and amped up, you don't feel that cold.
yeah, not if you're from Texas. If you're from Texas, you feel it all.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, you're
I'd
supposed
rather
to feel that cold.
But no, I just for me, like even like watching Paul Pierce, Tim Duncan, like watching these dudes who KD, like it's different when you get to see a person of that size in like right there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's way different than watching it on TV. Like I know the speed of an NFL game and the violence, but nah, basketball players are something to behold when they step on that 94 feet and get to going.
Not to be the white guy in the chat here, but if we're talking playoffs included into the mix, playoff hockey is
Well, I'm not. I agree.
The greatest thing to be in the building.
Yeah, you're not the white guy. You're just the guy. And if anybody doesn't know, I've actually heard that, and I actually have not been, and I want to go so I can experience. But everybody I've talked to said that hockey is the best sport live that you can watch.
For so playoffs, because 82 games, there's some pretty dull games that can go on. But if it's an elimination game or whether they're on the ropes or closing out a series, being in the stadium or the arena for that is just amazing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They don't fight in the playoffs though. Like
rarely, it happens.
Yeah, it happens every
in the regular season.
Right. So, like, I'll give you a perfect example. So, the one year the Sabres went to the Stanley Cup Finals, the first game of the series, they were playing in the first round against the freaking Philadelphia Flyers, and the defenseman for the Flyers is coming out of their zone, coming across the blue line, and it was R.J. Umberger. And freaking Brian Campbell, the defenseman for the Sabres, came and caught him with the freaking greatest forearm shiver I've ever seen. And this guy was buried underneath the ice, just freaking done. And the crowd, the entire environment, this was like 30 seconds into the first game of the playoffs, and fucking tone was set. These dudes got swept, and it was over the second that guy hit the ice. It was just the most emotional, impactful, feverish crowd I've ever been a part of in my entire sports experiencing life.
I'll say this.
I think that is. Oh, go ahead, Bill.
I'll say this like a lot. I don't regularly watch hockey, but I watch the highlights and I watch a couple of little sports documentaries about hockey. But this one documentary I ended up watching, they had a story. They said their very first game in the franchise history, the owner went down to their best defender and told him, he said, set the tone for this season. Whoever this one guy is, as soon as the puck drops, drop your gloves, KO him, and they did that. He said that as soon as they got down in their stance, he said something to him. The shit dropped down. It was on.
Now hockey, wild.
And then he said that set the tone for their whole season. And
Best time of his life getting beat up by a cop.
like
hockey, wild. Like,
yeah.
I want to go stars.
Like,
if y'all make it, I'm hitting that over this year, bro.
Yeah, hockey's a crazy game to watch. Even like Russ, even when they had the Stampede in San Antonio, the minor league hockey, a lot of people would say,
it's a fun
experience.
But I think the reason why is because it encapsulates both what you get from the basketball game. Like the close proximity is what makes a basketball game so live, and hockey gives you that with the violence. Because when I think about you think about a live like NFL game and things of that nature, like yeah, those pro games are really dope. But if you've ever been to a really packed high school game or really packed college game, either football or basketball, you can't sit there and tell me like the energy in a basketball game is different. Different. When there's nobody around and you're at a street court, dudes be crowding the court watching people, like the crowd. It's just the energy in a basketball game is just spotlight on you. Ain't no helmet, bro. This is your face. We see you. We see you. You're going eye to eye. Like when someone says you ain't shit and you hit that three and you're looking for them because you can look them right now and say, yeah, it's you.
You can't hide behind no face mask,
yeah. And when you do something wrong, people are like, yeah, like they're on top of you. Like I went to a Butler game with Gordon Hayward right before he graduated. Shit was fucking crazy. It was just a regular ass season game. Like they was jumping that shit up against Evansville. That shit was fucking nuts. Like, and we were on top of like the game, like, and so that shit. I think football games, like the crowd affects the referees, but more so in basketball games because they're on top of you. Like literally, people are screaming and they're right here. Like it, nah. Like I don't know. A live basketball game at a high level is ridiculous.
So I'll go ahead and cast my vote. Since this year, I've actually been to both sports games. I've been to Houston Rockets and the Texans game, and I've been to the New Orleans Saints game and versus the Bengals. Now, one thing I'll say is this: is that both football experiences were contrastly different, but they had similarities. The Saints game from the Texans game is completely different. Saints much more louder, fans a lot more engaged. You can all, the difference was I was around a lot of Saints fans, okay? And I was able to sit there and talk with the fans and see how, those in stands conversations with people, and they were very welcoming. Exactly, Chris. There's nothing in the world like a Saints game. Very loud, very, very loud.
Very loud.
Yeah, very loud. In contrast to a Houston Texans game, whereas I went to go see when they played Kansas City Chiefs, it was more Kansas City Chiefs fans in there, and I know that the Texans have been doing great in that year, and they were playing for a first overall pick, but whatever. Fans were just kind of there, and I went to Texans games in the past, and they were kind of the same. Fans are just kind of there, they ain't really engaged. They're just there to watch the game, and go home. It's like they could have been watching the shit at the house, kind of, sort of. Now, when I went to the Houston Rockets game, now, let me give you some context. It was on Filipino night. So, they had a full house. And how my boy Russ said, it was very lively. Now we didn't have the interaction with the people in the stands. Everybody was kind of doing their own thing, sticking to themselves. But one thing I will say is this: is that if you want to see celebrities and shit like that, you go to a basketball game because for whatever reason,
And
this
it's
Houston Texas no Houston Rocket season they haven't been playing well, but they've been having celebrities there.
man,
Like
basketball games are
yeah,
inside.
and it's random. It'll be like just a random weekday
It's
game.
just
We had fucking Walter White
it's
and
just
Jesse.
it's just better. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, like nah, like it's just better. Like when you wake up, it's something like, all right, I got a homie. He listens to like Chris. He listens to you all the time. My homie from Houston. He has said I've listened to him talk sports, go to events. This whole like our entire 15-year friendship, bro. And I have heard him say one time about one sport, and he went to see Kyrie Irving. And he said, "Oh my God, that shit was the best show I ever seen in my motherfucking life. I pay money to go see that motherfucker any night." I ain't never heard him say that about the Texans, the Longhorns, none of that shit. And he's told me like I love football. I love football. But when he went and saw Kyrie, he was like, nah, that shit was fucking pure entertainment. And I just think it's just like basketball is just one of them things that like football you see people do things that are very hard to do. Basketball, you see things that you never fucking do in your life. You could never in your life most people do what these dudes are doing on the court. 360 windmills, dunking on people, step backs, all the shit that they do, putting this round ball in this hole. Like, nah, it's like it's just different when you see it live. It's like, oh shit, that's why Steph Curry is like amazing to watch. You know what I'm saying? It's like he shot that from how far? Like on TV, it looks one way, but when you see him do it in real life, you're like, oh shit. Like, so I don't know, basketball is just different. Like live basketball's crazy.
yeah, and it's like the experience I got from the basketball game when it was a weekday game. It wasn't really just a regular season game. Nothing. We played it was the Utah Jazz. Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
It would nobody. Yeah, yeah. So
No, bro,
uh,
let me look. Like I said, let me say this though, because here's my retort to that. Like,
I was reading.
I understand the Saints game is live, but you're talking to a person that was at the first game at AT&T Stadium when it was called Cowboy Stadium, the 110,000 people. I was in that bitch. Like
Yeah,
it was 2009. I was in that hoe. Like 110,000 people. That bitch was rocking. But can I tell you something really real? It was not as loud as when the Mavericks had a playoff game in the Reunion Arena against the Utah Jazz. Shit was not as loud, and I put that on everything. And I'm
and
talking 110,000 people screaming in that bitch because the Giants are
you know
trying
what,
to beat
Russ?
us. But
You
when that,
just you just brought back. You're digging up memories, man. Like and let's take this back to even a lower level from pros to even high school. So um when I was in high school, I was around two pros play. I was around for whenever we played Vince Young in the playoffs, and I was around whenever TJ Ford was out here hooping. And I can tell you when I went to the playoff game for Vince Young, it was a big affair. Like the city was out. Vince Young was their favorite son, um, and he whooped our ass in fashion. Now it was loud, and
I did everybody.
yeah, it was loud. But to go to a Willow Ridge game and watch TJ Ford there,
Bro.
it was it was just like a whole different thing. Like nobody don't know what it means for whenever you sit there and TJ Ford gets fouled, he goes to the line and he goes to shoot his free throws, and every free throw that gets sunk, the whole Willow Ridge side, hell, sometimes the whole stadium is yelling in unison, "Swoosh, bitch!"
Bro, basketball games are different.
Yeah,
When I
like
tell you, in 2002, I went and saw Chris Bosh in high school playing this is like big Dallas basketball classic they used to have. Bro, no, like it was at Reunion Arena. That shit was crazy. It was the most insane shit I have ever seen in my life. Like basketball games, for some reason, and it's the close proximity, and the fact that you can see like
energy
you
is
can see,
infectious.
like the reason why Nick Anderson is affected is because you could see his face when he was missing them free throws. Shaq said we can see you can't see that through a helmet. As a crowd, you can see, oh, we're affecting this dude. Like I can see it on his face. We can look in his eyes and see we fucking him up. And so you can't wear no visor in basketball. Like you can't hide from what it is. It is out here. Like you're in the middle and everybody's on top of you. Like I don't know, it's just something about that. And then to see people that rise above it is crazy too. Like it's shit's nuts.
If we're talking about the fan experience perspective of this, then you have to include tailgating for football because nobody's showing up 6 hours early to a basketball game and having the time of their life and all. That's part of the
That's
experience.
true.
That's part of going there and going to the game, dude. For 20 years, that was the best part of the football game in Buffalo was the tailgate.
Yeah. So yeah, about Buffalo's tailgate, that's a whole different world. Like
But
I remember whenever I first met Chris and Mike, and the one thing Mike said to me that stuck out about Buffalo's tailgate was he's like, I have so many stories about these idiots in Buffalo at their tailgate. He says a lot of the stories he says I don't even want to repeat because it makes me feel bad as a Bills fan. But when he tells some of the stories, I'm like, that shit is amazing. Like
you can't deny getting drunk with your people and getting live. Pre-gaming is going to be the loudest part, but we're talking about the game.
yes,
When the game kicks off, because nothing fucking with tailgating, but nobody tailgates.
Yeah, but my state of mind when I'm in that stadium is a direct result of that 6 hours of time I put into getting ready for that game.
So what he's saying is that he said them 6 hours brings him.
Oh, you see people be lit before the basketball game. It's just like basketball is like it's one of them things that people try to be uppity about. Like they go in the stadium, everybody sits down, you get ready to watch. But then the first time someone dunks that bitch and goes, ooh, everybody goes, ooh, shit, we in this. So you gotta say something. Like it doesn't matter who you root for, but when you see Steph Curry drain a three on somebody, you're gonna look at who he drained at and be like, man, you gotta do something. It don't matter if you at the home or the away team. You gonna look, you could be rooting for the Warriors. You gonna be like, hey, you gotta do something, nigga. That nigga just drain that bitch. Like, and then the crowd gonna be like, oh, he talking. Ooh, and it's like a fucking fire. It just spreads, and all of a sudden just thousands of people on top of your head just screaming, oh, and then you become a part of it. Oh, I need to hit a Mavericks game. Zion, you better play the fourth, my nigga. I mean, not the fourth, but second, 2 weeks from now, 13th, whenever it is. Zion, you better play.
All right, man. So, all right, let's go ahead and get on over to our next subject. We're going to the NFL. Russ, brother, we're going to lead off with Russ's Love 'em or Hate 'em. It's our new segment. Hopefully, he keeps us going once we get out the NFL season. I really like this segment, man. It gives you a good chance to kind of showcase your shit, man. I think just do basketball. Like whenever we get out of football.
I can find a way to do it for basketball, probably the Mavs or whatever. But okay. Oh God. See, this is y'all about to get hit with a two-piece because after I get done, Chris gonna probably go off.
Oh yeah.
So, like, all right. Yeah. So okay. The Cowboys, the team. I do love you. Dak Prescott, we got some motherfucking problems, cuz. Like, I really, and I want to start from, like, the top, because when you just try to have this argument, there's so many stupid motherfucking arguments that come back to you. Like, Dak fucked up the game. Well, who else you gonna get? That doesn't fucking matter.
I hate the who else you're gonna get.
It doesn't fucking matter who else we're gonna fucking get. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that this nigga cannot win fucking football games when it matters for us in the playoffs. Like, really matters. Most Cowboys, and this is the worst part about it.
You got to settle for this because it always could be worse.
Yeah, no, it could be, but if you worse, you could go for someone like Caleb Williams. We're not gonna get into that. You know, like the guy said, I don't want to suck bad enough to get Jamar Chase. Well, I don't want to suck bad enough to lose in the second round every year. Like if you go to the championship,
the man that said that had 3 cracks at DK Metcalf. So take it with a grain of salt.
You know that, but I love the team, but I'm very pissed off about how some people are tackling what's wrong with the Cowboys. Y'all know I've been beefing with the fucking Jerry Joneses and the Stephen Joneses. They own the team. Y'all suck. I don't know how else I can say it, but y'all the problem, but y'all not finna leave. Now, I do believe that Mike McCarthy did a good job, so I'm gonna leave you alone. The defense, I love y'all, bro. They shouldn't have left you out there to dry like that, cuz I hate that it happened to you. As far as Dak Prescott's concerned, I already said it. You can't win games when it matters for us, so we need to do something about it. to get to the crux of it, so I don't take too much of the time, because I can rant all day about this bullshit. I mean, my nigga, you threw a pick inside your own fucking 20. Then you got the ball back, nigga. You didn't do shit with it again. You had the ball in like 4 opportunities to score. And even if we just get fucking field goals, that's still about 12 points. And y'all, could y'all please tell me, like, what's 12 plus 6?
I mean, you trust in that kicker to kick
What's
field
not
goals?
12 plus what?
You trust in your kicker to kick field goals?
I mean, obviously, yes, you gotta trust in something, but it's better than an INT. It's better than an INT. But really, like I'm like this shit is crazy. I get the fact that we should be like, oh, pat him on the fuck, patting that nigga on the back, nigga. You gotta know it's your fault. Like we lost everybody was saying we didn't have enough talent. Amari Cooper left. It wasn't because of COVID. It was because of Dak. He said you're the black Kirk Cousins, and he was tired of it. He said, I would rather go to Cleveland, play in the cold with Jacoby Brissett, and I know I'm not going to the playoffs, but I'd rather do that than catch passes that look like punts from you, nigga. And this is the horrible truth that we live in. And people want to say, what about the good games? He plays good against trash-ass niggas. Let's be honest. The same thing I said about Brock Purdy when I was trying to pump up the team. Like, he ain't played no NFL defense like this, and he hadn't, because they was on his ass. You know why they got them points? Because Dak gave them to him. Like, you can't sit up and throw these type of picks, and you look at the all 22. You look at the film, and you're like, okay, Dak, let's say Hut. You're staring down CD, and you see it's a cover 3. That man's not open. Why are you late? No, not even why are you late. If you're late over there to the hook route, curl route, whatever you want to call it, the comeback, why are you throwing it? You don't see the dude there, and if you look at the tape, everybody wants to talk about it was a horrible route. It wasn't a horrible route. He ran his route on time, and he sat there for a second, and the ball didn't come, and then a second later, the defender got to push him out the way because Dak was late. If you look later in the game, he's eyeing down CeeDee Lamb. Fred Warner is shifting to that side of the field. You can see him coasting there. Like, once you said Hut, he starts running in that direction. T.Y. Hilton's running. I'm not a pro quarterback. Russell Johnson throws the interception, gets sacked, throws it into Fred Warner. Dak Prescott, you're supposed to throw a touchdown, nigga. Like that's how we have you. Excuses. Oh, Tony Pollard got hurt. I don't give a fuck. Niggas is running open. Throw it to them niggas. That's why we pay you that much money. That's why you get the clout. That's why you get all the shit you get, is because you're supposed to be able to do this, and you can't. And we're supposed to sit here at the end of the season and say, it's okay. It's not. It is Dak Prescott's fault. He let the whole motherfucking city down. That defense was on point. The Dak Prescott gave them the ball back on their own 20-yard line, and they kicked a field goal. What more do you expect? You got CeeDee Lamb going deep, and everybody talks about the catch he made. If Dak throws the motherfucking ball right, it goes far, and he fucking catches it in stride. Now I'm in this bitch looking like a Muppet because I'm pissed off because this motherfucker can't do shit correctly, and we got people out here. I'm sorry, Jay Tuck. I love what you tweet, but goddamn, bro, stop coddling this nigga, man. Dallas Cowboy people, stop coddling this nigga, man. It is his fault. You got 2 options. You can either, 1, surround this motherfucker with so much talent that he can't fuck up, which means you should have signed Odell Beckham and didn't put Gallup in a position to have to be a number 2 to get open when you know CD's having trouble off top. If you know your quarterback is Dak Prescott and he loves to throw the tight ends, get someone besides Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz, you are nice. You are cold. But you're not someone that a guy like Dak needs, because Dak needs a fucking superstar. If he gonna aim at his tight end that much, you need to have a tight end that gets open that much. Not a guy that has a possibility to bounce off his shoulder. He doesn't turn around quick enough. He can't get open like he needs to. That nigga ain't Jason Witten. And unless you need to go find one. It's baffling. And to the Cowboys ownership, y'all don't give a fuck about winning. Let's just be honest. As a fan, I suggest this to you guys after this rant, because I haven't ranted. I'm just giving y'all this now because I know how y'all feel. It's just entertainment for Jerry Jones. He's cashing the check. It doesn't fucking matter what we do. So, as I said last season, as I carried it through this season, watch, enjoy, but don't buy shit. Because until you pop them pockets, that shit ain't going to change. And Tony Pollard got hurt. Zeke looking a little washed up. I can point to all these different things, but the main thing that you look at that game is number 4. You let everybody down. You're a great human. You're a good man. You're probably a better person. All that shit. You're successful. But goddamn it, in the words of Pat McAfee, when it's clutch time, God just sucks at football. God just sucks at football when it's time. I'm sorry. And then so to close it, y'all want my 2 options? Fuck it, I'll throw them out there. The first one, I'll just say this: get enough talent where he can't fuck up. Go sign Odell Beckham. Go find a tight end in free agency and go overpay him and sign him. Go find another wide. Put so many motherfucking weapons out there. It does not matter what the fuck happens. And my second one, and y'all can call me stupid. Y'all can say I have no idea what I'm talking about, yada, yada, yada. But guess what, motherfucker? None of us know. You need to pick up your phone. You need to call them motherfuckers in the DMV, Baltimore area, and say, hey, you don't want your guy. We don't want our guy. And we the only people that can offer you a guy that can make the playoffs and some picks to go with that shit. So go ahead and trade us Lamar, because guess what? That nigga on the Cowboys wins that game. That nigga on the Cowboys changes the whole course of the entire fucking league, because you now have the most popular quarterback after Patrick Mahomes on the most popular team in evers of all time. And that type of momentum was a momentum that you could not stop with the likes of Diggs, with the likes of Parsons, with the likes of Law, with the likes of Dorn Armstrong, with the cornerbacks Lou that got hurt. When you got Brown that got hurt. Yeah, we was out there hurt, but you know who wasn't hurt? Dak. You know who played like trash? Dak. You know who let us down? Dak. You know who doesn't deserve any type of apologies or any type of sympathy? Dak. You know who needs to give some of his money back? Not Dak, because you deserve every penny, because you earned that, boy. But you know what you didn't earn? A motherfucking playoff win to get us to the goddamn NFC Championship. And that shit motherfucking hurts, nigga. 30 years. My whole goddamn life. I've been waiting and pointing and wishing and hoping, and you can't deliver, so get us someone else. And if I hear another motherfucker say that Tony Romo wasn't better, Tony Romo's best defense was number 15, bitch. Stop playing with me. Tony Romo's 10 times better than this motherfucker. And if he would have played his rookie year, we would have won the Super Bowl then. Stop talking about Tony. You owe Tony. And it was a catch, goddammit. Yes.
All right.
Play my motherfucking music, goddamn me.
All right, so that was Scorched Earth from Russ. So look, man, we got a special rant. Well, not really a rant. It's more of a open letter to the Buffalo Bills. It always
start as an open letter, and we know it's about to be a rant.
Yeah, it is. So
it's gonna start calm like mine, and then the passion gonna bleed out like the Christ.
Well, we got to make this one good, because the last one Chris did, we couldn't get it, and it was gold. So
here's the thing. I don't think a rant is justified at this time. I think the situation is too serious that a rant becomes too entertaining and gets lost in the shuffle. I've ranted, I've vented about this team. I've watched us go down the tracks towards a fucking train wreck, and everyone called me a madman forever. Like the writing's been on the wall. I don't want to get into the rant, because I can just go off, shoot from the hip on all of this. I want to be methodical, because this is a methodical problem that is redundant and continues to come about. So I'm sorry, Bills Mafia, but the black pill is the only pill you're getting offered here, because there's no other option. Is cold hard reality, the truth. You either see what the problem is, much like Dak, and deal with it, or you continue to fucking stand on the hamster wheel, and don't be surprised when in 12 months from now you're in the same fucking spot again. So let me deal with the fucking bleeding hearts first. The positivity clowns. You can't be negative. You gotta support the team no matter what. Why are you being negative? This is why I'm being fucking negative. This is why I've been negative all goddamn year. Because it was written on the wall in blood. In fucking blood, man. This is where the season's headed if we continue to keep this asshole in charge. And nobody wanted to hear it. Nobody wanted to hear it. Oh, DeMar got hurt. Everybody was fucking exhausted. They were emotionally drained. I don't give a fuck. You know why? Because this wasn't year one. This wasn't the start of the window. This is the 5th playoff loss that came from coaching incompetence. Every single one of them. Everyone, oh, he got to the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor. He got to the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod was loaded with freaking weapons to start with. All went on and did great everywhere else. And what did they do when they got to the playoffs against fucking Doug Marrone, of all people? 10-3, they lost and wet the bed. Didn't show up. What did we see 6 years later with Cincinnati at home? Shit the bed. Didn't show up. Complete lack of energy. The same problem. That's not a DeMar problem. That's not a this season and the adversity problems. That's ingrained fundamental problem. What did we see in Houston? A 19-0 collapse. Why? Why? Because we started coaching scared. We acted like little bitches. And freaking down we go. What do we see in the first KC game? Let's kick field goals against Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. That'll go great. Excellent. The next year, it took us to the fourth quarter to realize we're in a goddamn shootout. Luckily, we got Superman for the day, and he's going to go apeshit. Oh, you can fuck that up too? Of course you can. That should have been the line in the sand. That should have been, well, we've seen this story 4 times. This asshole's clearly out of his element. And I'm way off book here. It's rant time. I didn't want to get there, but here we are. So,
yes, we are here.
What? Everyone was so furious last season with the 13 seconds thing. And then they wash it all over. Oh, that we learned from it. We learned all the cliches, man.
How much can you learn? I'm sorry. They say the same thing down here. We learned. Nigga, we ain't learn shit. We learned to lose.
It's the same mistakes. It's the same mistakes. The dude's kicking field goals, but just like the Monday night game that got washed out. Boop, Bengals go right down the field, opening possession, touchdown, no resistance. We come right back down the field, get it in the red zone, 4th and short. Let's kick field goals here. Again, because we've got a defensive coach that's in total denial of when his defense can't stop the offense, which is in the playoffs. So, let's kick the field goal. And then what happens? Then now we're down freaking 10 points, and it's 4th and fucking 2, and they've already proven they can go up and down the field at will on you. And everyone in the entire world knows if you kick this ball back to Joe Burrow right now, he's going to go right down the field, and you're going to be down 17 points, and that's all she wrote. 4th and 2, boop, punts it away. 10 minutes later, the ball's in her end zone again. This man coaches like he doesn't understand who his quarterback is, that his quarterback is one of the best in the league. And you can argue what layer of level that Allen is, but you have your horse. He's your stallion. He's your freaking team. You coach around giving the game in his hands, not your freaking defense's hands. Nobody gives a shit about your defense. Top defense every single year, till the playoffs come, because you lump up on these fucking meatballs on your roster. And then, we coasted through the regular season on nothing but talent. And then the playoffs come where everybody's got talent, and the difference is coaching. And what happens? Oh, we're outgunned. We're outclassed. We're outcoached. Not one of these people fucking anywhere in Bills Mafia can tell me one strategic value that they think, advantage that they think McDermott brings to the field. Not one. Not like he's real good at how he uses clock management or timeouts, or I see him take a guy off to the side and talk to him and get him back and focused on the game.
I'm sorry, but if you ask somebody, what do you do good as a coach? It's like, I call timeouts.
That's how low the bar is. That's how low. The guy uses his timeouts correctly.
I call timeouts right. Nigga, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a low bar that about 40% of the NFL coaching cannot cross. It's unbelievable.
There's the guy in with the Broncos. What's his name?
Nathaniel Hackett,
because he couldn't timeouts well. Couldn't call timeouts well.
So here's and the problem is, all of these people are so traumatized by the drought. Oh, we went 20 years without the playoffs. You get rid of McDermott, it's going to be right back to another playoff drought. You fucking idiots. We didn't have a quarterback for 20 years. Revolving door. No NFL caliber quarterback. You've got freaking Allen. You stand a scarecrow up on that sideline, and I promise you Allen's still winning 10 games off of talent alone. So now you have to bring something to the table above and beyond what I already know Allen can do with a fucking scarecrow. And you can't do it. You can't cross that bar. You can't add one little advantage to my team that makes us better with you on the field. Instead, you're a fucking albatross. My quarterback now has to beat the other team, beat the refs, and he's going to beat your ass. And that's just too. There's not enough margin of error in the playoffs to be able to be beating three opponents every single time. Here's the statistics. I'm going to get back on book here because there's important information that I do want to be communicated.
There's a place we're going.
Do you guys know how many coaches in NFL history have made it to 5 playoff losses without a Super Bowl appearance? Yeah, you got right answers without even saying anything. It's fucking 0. Nobody keeps an asshole around that's just getting fucking kicked aside every season. Like, we went 13-3. We went 13-3. That's great against pop cans, and we almost choked away half those fucking games too if Allen didn't save the day. Like, the mistakes are there in the wins too, but people only see the record at the end of the season.
That's true. That's true.
There's 2 fucking factions in Buffalo. There's football fans who goddamn love the Bills, and there's Buffalo fans who root for the Bills. They don't know shit about football. They don't care about football. They're just happy that people are talking about Buffalo. Can't stand them. And every single one of them, we can't get rid of this coach and chase after greatness because look what happened in the past. We were losers forever. It's mind-numbing. So no, but we're gonna do this for a 6th time.
Now we're losers.
We're gonna keep this asshole for a 6th time, and it gets even better now because so. Before I get to the outlook, I want to wrap up freaking the McDermott here. So, do you guys know who Tyler Dunn is?
No.
Tyler Dunn is a sports journalist. He writes for The Athletic and he writes for golong.com or something like that. He's got an article out there that like the headline is called Sean McDermott cowers in the playoffs again, with again in parentheses. And it's a fucking dissertation on how Sean McDermott is the 21st century's Marty Schottenheimer. Right down to the fact that this dude patented Sean Ball and freaking even Peter King and everybody starting to run with it. He is Marty Schottenheimer. The dude just
rest in peace,
doesn't have it.
Yeah. Marty used to win a lot of games. And
Marty will always go to the AFC Championship.
But you know what he got to? You know what he got to? The fucking conference championship game. Yeah. Dak. Dakota.
Mike Florio put out a thread that just eviscerated McDermott and how gutless he is in all of these key situations and with his decisions. There's a screenshot going around from the game. It's 3rd and 4. 3rd and fucking 4 for the Bengals. Trey White is 8 yards off of his guy, and the other 3 corners covering wide receivers are off the fucking screen. You can't even see them on screen. They're playing so far back in the snow on 3rd and 4. Like, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand fundamentally there's problems here. So the biggest problem that we have is because we were dysfunctional for 20 years and desperate little bitches at the ball, and we were just happy that we got a coach that didn't piss on himself. What did we do? Oh, Mr. Sean McDermott, You took us to the playoffs at 9-7. It's the greatest accomplishment in the history of Western New York. So please, sir, hire your new boss to be the general manager. That can't possibly ever blow up in our face. It doesn't basically make you king for life because the general manager is never going to fire the guy that hired him for the damn job. So now we've got a general manager with a big fucking blinder on his face that can't see the glaring neon sign in front of the building. This guy ain't it. This guy ain't it. And we I can do a whole nother rant on Bean at this point. I used to friggin' love this guy, but he's off the rails, and it's an entire episode on itself. But we got to touch on the end of season wrap up press conference where everyone's all over Twitter, like BillsMafia is just fucking cannibalizing itself over all of this shit because so many people finally realized it's the coaching staff, and then there's just the friggin' morons. But the drought. We can't ever get rid of this guy because of the drought. So
that's true though. Drought fans, shut up. Because it's better to suck and be sold on the hope of the draft than it is to be there and lose. And not there and lose and be like, we almost had it, but there and lose and no. Like, damn. Like, we ain't doing shit with this squad.
First of all,
like, this is as far as we go.
Stop looking backwards like fucking losers. Only losers look backwards. This is the team we have now. This is where we're trying to go ahead of us. What is stopping us from getting there? Not what is holding us from sliding back to there. Because that's where you're going to go if you're too busy looking backwards there. You're going to end up right back there. And they're determined to do so. Here's the other wonderful bullshit of this entire equation. There were 8 teams in the playoffs going into this weekend. Guess how many of them dragged an archaic defensive coach into the game as their head coach? Raise your hand if it's fucking Buffalo Bills. So you better goddamn well have the best defense out of those 8 teams there, right? You're like every first round pick for since you've been around has been invested into the defense. Every top pick, every free agent, everything's been about your precious fucking defense that's at the top of the regular season standings every single year. Oh, you gave up 27 to the Bengals, and the Bengals like felt bad for DeMar and stopped scoring because they knew they didn't need any more points. So I'd give the Bengals 40 on generosity in that game if they really needed it. You gave up freaking 43 or 45, whatever it was, to the freaking Chiefs last year. You gave up 41 to the Chiefs the year before. You gave up 34 to the fucking Dolphins last week with a third-string quarterback.
Damn.
Dude, all your assets, all your expertise is on defense. What are we getting for it? Nothing. And at the same time, we've got Allen over here that's just fucking making it up as he goes along. He's Brett Favre without Mike Holmgren. Whatever. Woo! Rocket balls for everybody. Freaking, we got this. Nobody's over there.
We got this.
Nobody's over there talking to him when he comes out of the sidelines. No more rocket balls, please. Josh, you want to settle it down a little bit? Getting that motor running right in that freaking sweet spot where he's consistent and he's hitting his peak, but he's not freaking having these wild swings of what are you getting?
Gunslinger.
Nah. Let's fucking let him wheel and deal with it. Freaking.
Breathe.
Yeah, breathe.
So all season long, it's become apparent that they don't have enough weapons that they've surrounded Allen with. Stephon Diggs is already getting old now, but hey, psychopaths wanted Justin Jefferson over Stephon Diggs. But hey, he's 30, he's pissed off, he's angry, and he knows his coach is a bum. That situation's going to keep getting better.
He knows his coach is a bum.
Gabe Davis, who knows? Who the fuck knows who's showing up when Gabe Davis puts a uniform on every single week? Freaking, it could be the second coming of James Lofton, or it could be fucking Featherstone. You don't know what you're getting. And then we don't even suit up an offensive line anymore. Why? What do we need an offensive line for? Let's just give the ball to Josh and see what he does with it. These guys roll out a bunch of backups and fucking bums off the practice squad because they got so many injuries, and we don't even sniff their quarterback. Allen can't even get to his drop back on a 3-man rush. It's fucking mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's true.
And then so okay, we need more weapons. We need freaking an offensive line, and we've got a coaching problem. And oh, by the way, we're way the fuck over the salary cap. So what are these 2 morons come rolling out there for their post-game press conference doing? So guys, that fucking DeMar situation. Whoo, boy, was that a bummer, huh? Well, we're just going to run it back because, we don't really have a lot of cap space. And, we're probably not going to re-sign Jordan Poyer. And Tremaine Edmonds is probably going to walk and go to the Dolphins. But, we got a lot of faith in the people that we have in this room that something's going to suddenly be different and better next season because DeMar didn't get hurt next year. Freaking, so we're just going to run it back with a little less resources than we have this year and see how it figures it out. But don't worry, guys, because fucking Bills head coach Sean McDermott has a message for the front office and Josh Allen about what it's going to take to get to the Super Bowl. This fucking guy knows, right? He's proven he's got it all figured out. Hey, everybody but me, I've got it all figured out on what you guys need to do to get us to the Super Bowl. Fucking piece of shit.
You know what's worse? God.
Yo, so we're currently 3rd best team in the AFC behind the Bengals and Chiefs, and now we're going to regress and keep the same degenerate coaching staff. Do you guys know who fucking Dick Duran is? Do you know who Dick Duran is?
Yeah, I remember Dick Duran.
Yeah. Old Skeletor-faced Dick Duran was the bottom of the barrel freaking coaches during the drought. McDermott is literally a clone of Dick Duran. The only fucking difference is he's got an actual quarterback. That's it. That's the only difference between Sean McDermott and Dick Duran.
One of those. We got a quarterback. We don't got one in Dallas. Well, we thought we had one. He took his makeup off.
Man.
Oh man. That's what Dak Prescott is. Oh shit. He's the chick you take home and looks fine, but then in the next morning the makeup's gone. You're like, oh no.
Dak Prescott is the quarterback version of Sean McDermott. And here's what they both have in common. You can coast your way through the regular season on talent, and not even Dak's talent or Sean's talent, but just your overall general talent in the NFL. You can, like, if you got enough decent talent, you can win 10 plus games off of talent alone.
True.
But everyone that gets to the playoffs in a fucking watered down league with a bunch of bottom feeders in it has talent. Now, what separates this talented team from that talented team? Strategy, X's and O's, coaching, decision makings in the moment.
Quarterbacks that don't throw picks.
Quarterbacks that don't throw picks. Scheming your guys open because you actually built a game plan around this team you're playing this week, and not just fucking spinning the Rolodex of plays and saying, let's go with that one.
You asking Madden, Chris? Yep. You hated me asking Madden.
No schemes. No schemes completely designed to this. Meanwhile, I'm watching Zach Taylor come out here and run circles around McDermott. There's clearly things schemed and designed directly to take advantage of the stuff that the Bills do and the coach's tendencies and freaking biases. And then you got all these people, oh, if you get rid of Sean McDermott, who are you going to get? Are you fucking kidding me? You get rid of Sean McDermott, and this is the most coveted coaching job in all of professional sports. You got a team that's ready to win now. You got a generational talent that gives you more toys to play with than any other quarterback in the entire fucking sport, including Mahomes. Mahomes is great, but he's a pure passer. Allen, you can do all the damn things with. You got running plays for quarterbacks. You got fucking long balls for quarterbacks. Get the whole goddamn bag of tricks out there. Anybody, any offensive genius mind in the game would love to come and take over this team. Instead, they're all fighting to take over the Texans and have to build the whole damn thing up to the ceiling. Here, it's ready to go. They just need someone that's got their freaking shit in order.
Does Josh Allen like Dallas?
Dude, I can't stand Mike McDaniels. You guys have heard me talk shit about Mike McDaniels all season long. I
love Mike McDaniels because Mike McDaniels made me right, Chris, because I did say that the Dolphins would finish second in y'all's division.
Come on. They finished second by a field goal. They would have been in fourth.
Hey, and their quarterback brain was playing boggle. So they made it through.
If you put a coach like Zach Taylor or Mike McDaniels or any of these young hotshot offensive minds with the Bills that know when's to go for it, they know when their fucking defense is invisible today, and the quarterback's going to have to step it up and extend some drives, and so they judge their fourth down calls accordingly. You do that, the Bills are unfreaking stoppable. The only person that beat the freaking Bills 4 times this year is Sean McDermott.
Man, fuck that, damn, nigga. Are you hear all these problems they got in Buffalo? Yeah, none of these problems.
So
it's you.
Here's
it's not us, it's you.
Here's the well-spoken reality of it that's not a rant. There's different kind of teachers in this world. There's a lot of teachers that can help people go from bad to good. Just cleaning up basic mistakes, lack of organization, lack of discipline, sloppy, nobody's willing to tell you the truth. All of those little things, just being competent and not pissing on yourself like the last 5 guys did, can help take a team from bad to good. That doesn't mean you can take a team from good to great. There are tons of people who can teach and take a team from good to great, from bad to good, but there are few teachers who can go from good to great. Because in order to go from good to great, you have to have actually fucking been there before to know what it takes to do so. Or at least been within the...
You're not making me feel no better because Mike McCarthy's been there and Dak, you still gotta do it. Like, nigga, damn.
Dude,
what we got?
I don't want to crack the fucking invisible glass ceiling for you here, bro. But guess what? Mike McCarthy is the Sean McDermott. He literally is. He's the offensive version of Sean McDermott. He won, but he got lucky and won. It was a freak anomaly with what many people say is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game for 12 fucking years.
Aaron Rodgers ain't done shit without him. Like, he rolled the 4 and Aaron Rodgers rolled the 3, and together they said, "Ha! 7!" on the come out. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Mike McCarthy is literally Sean McDermott's future. He might accidentally get lucky and ride Allen's coattails and win a Super Bowl, but he's not going to sustain a fucking dynasty off of his great coaching in the playoffs. He's going to fluke out and win one Super Bowl, and then he'll be on to his next team. That's my nightmare scenario, is the Bills taking an entire fucking dynasty and boiling it down to one Super Bowl, and everyone being like, "Oh, Sean McDermott's the greatest coach ever because he bought us a Super Bowl." No, he got fucking lucky.
That's kind of what happens.
Well,
yeah. But when you have superior coaching with a superior quarterback, you get a dynasty, like what you saw in New England, like what you see when a team wins 2 Super Bowls back to back, or 3 in 5 years, or these little mini dynasties. That's what happens when great coaching meets great quarterbacks.
Like you see in Kansas City.
No, because they don't have the coach right. He's literally
I'm fucking Cheeseburger Andy, man. I don't know.
He is the same thing as McCarthy and McDermott. Listen, Andy Reid is an unbelievable offensive mind, but he is just as bad as they are with the game day management stuff.
Yes.
The timeouts, the reviews, the when to go for it on 4th down. All of this stuff that is literally your responsibility alone on game day, he's just as dumb as the rest of them.
Man, God bless fools and babies.
Ask any Eagles fan that was old enough to be around for the late 90s and the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
they ran Andy Reid out of town before they hung him in the streets. That's McDermott's future.
But they was out there with Fred Mitchell, bro, and Todd Pinkston.
Hey, man. You don't talk bad about 4th and Forever Freddy.
All right, well, they was out there with Todd Pinkston. Say something good about Todd Pinkston.
He should have won. He should have won at least one Super Bowl with the Eagles, and he should have more than one Super Bowl already with Mahomes. He's literally I got lucky, had superior talent, and the best quarterback in the game, and they overcame me fucking it up. That's what happens when these coaches win one Super Bowl with all this talent in the world. They got lucky that they didn't get in the way one time.
And they would look at you and say, if should, could, and if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk, baby. I just got to rock the ring of God. But you know who's not going to get a ring? Fucking Dak Prescott, because you let us down.
Look, man, I'm going to say this.
Yeah. Do you know why they lost Brian Daboll? Because Brian Daboll was the only person in the building that saw McDermott for what he was.
Yeah.
He was the best coach in the fucking building. And, dude, look at this. He gets to the same level in the season. He gets to the divisional round with Daniel freaking Jones and who the fuck knows on the Cowboys. Oh, I know who. Isaiah Hodgins, one of our outside receivers that we groomed for 3 fucking years and then just let sit on the freaking practice squad because we had to protect touchdown Jesus.
He brought that motherfucker in and said, "I know what you got."
Jay Kummerow. We couldn't risk Jay Kummerow going to the practice squad because Aaron Rodgers loves Jay Kummerow. He'll take him from us. So we just dumped Isaiah Hodgins out the back door and he goes off in the Giants land. But Daboll is literally the proof in the pudding that your coach either holds you back or makes the difference into your advantage. And McDermott held his team back from getting to farther than he should have. Daboll elevated his team and got him farther than he should have. And we met in a fucking middle because guess what? We're 2 ships passing in the night. Ours is fucking sinking and his is freaking rising.
Oh, no, fuck that. Giants ain't going nowhere. Now, fuck that.
And so as for the comment here on Ken Dorsey, Ken Dorsey's an empty suit. He might as well be the scarecrow as far as I'm concerned. He's not scheming anything that's getting guys open, anything like that. He's not fucking helping his offensive line with the blocking and stuff. But the problem is, those things don't matter when I can't even get a timeout right. Like, the amount of times Sean McDermott called timeouts that didn't need to be called and then hurt positive plays for his team because the play happened and guy fucking 40 yards away called timeout. Wipe out that 8-yard gain.
Yeah, it was one play. It was what 4th and I think that might have been the Dolphins game, but I remember. Yeah,
it was a Dolphins game where they got 2 down because of McDermott.
Can I say one thing? Dak, you ain't have to deal with none of this shit.
He said,
Dak, you ain't deal with none of this. You hear all these problems? Like you do none of it. Like none of it at all. None of it at all. None of it at all. And you look worse.
And
It's just
Worse.
there's
Like,
no there's
someone
no
is
hope.
houseway. Like how are you?
There's
this
no hope for
bad?
this getting better before it gets a lot worse, because everybody's still all in on McDermott. They all think he's the Messiah and the savior on all of this stuff. It doesn't matter how many games he fucks and pisses away. He keeps winning them off the field Super Bowls. Everybody loves and laps up those cliches in Buffalo. Nobody loves cliches more than freaking Buffalo does. But then they'll sit there and puff out their chest. We're the realest people in the country. Just don't give us that hard truth.
Just don't give us that hard truth.
all right, man.
Playoff teams predictions after you lose.
Yeah,
Look at the outlook. Bright skies and sunshines and rainbows in this motherfucker.
All
No
right.
cap, a coach that hired the GM, and freaking no offensive line and no weapons for a franchise quarterback.
Watch this. We got a cap. We got money. We got an owner that has money. We got a GM that knows the players, and we got a scout that knows the players. We got talent. We got a top 5 defense. Our quarterback can't play in clutch moments. Goddamn, nigga! Welcome to Dallas. Oh,
You know what else? You know what else you're gonna have in the
We're
next?
gonna run it back, huh?
You know what else you're gonna have in the next 2 seasons?
What is that?
2 digs.
I hope. But that goes along my plan. Give Dak so many weapons. Like the nigga can't shoot, so give him a bomb. Just
Dude, Stefan's fed up, and I love to see it. I wish he'd just just break the elephant right out of the room in front of everybody. You're the fucking problem, bro. We've all played football our entire lives. We all play Madden. We all know when you're being a gutless coward on 4th down. Freaking, like, you can sit here and tell all the fans, all the people, all you want. We're gonna learn from this. We are who we are when you lose the last game of the season. We all see through it, bro. The fucking emperor has no goddamn clothes.
In closing, for those whose teams lost, shit, look at us. We all in the same fucking pit of despair. For those that teams won, man, fuck you. We gonna watch though.
All right, so on that subject, man, let's go ahead and we have the conference championships lined up on Sunday. It is the 49ers taking on the Eagles, which Vegas has the Philadelphia Eagles at 2.5 favorites, and the Bengals taking on the Chiefs, which Vegas has as an even push. So, no really odds there. So, do with that as you wish.
I got the Bengals. Right. I got the Bengals and the Eagles.
Can I? Now we're talking about
Billy, you still trash, but y'all gonna win.
Now we're talking about these other teams. I need to get one little mini rant out here on this too.
All right.
Fuck the Bengals, man. Fuck them hard. First of all, hold up. First of all, and it's not even for the reason you think, because there's a very good reason to say fuck the Bengals right now, and I actually love that part of what they did. But it's the other part that fuck the Bengals. So you know how these guys had to get themselves amped up to beat the fucking Bills? You know what they were bragging about through the whole game and twisting the knife and shouting about as they were heading back into the locker room and all this happy horse shit? Have fun refunding those pre-sold tickets to Atlanta.
Hey, that was fucked up though. They shouldn't have sold them tickets.
Stop. Come on.
No,
you are so much more intelligent than that.
They shouldn't have sold the tickets.
Stop, Russ. Every single team in the league sells playoff tickets until the second they're in the playoffs. The fucking Jaguars were selling championship round tickets.
But they let it get out.
Dude, that's not a secret. That's just how the freaking ticket office works.
It's not a secret, but it's
literally how the ticket office works.
No, but it's not a secret, but it's one of those things that's like everybody that buys tickets for those events kind of sits back and is like, I bought my tickets, I hope we win. Those people that stand down and say, I bought these bitches and we gonna win, your team always loses.
As somebody that bought a flight to Atlanta, freaking, and had to eat the ticket cost, thanks again, fucking Sean. Cocksucker. Freaking, like, I fuck the rest. Everybody does. But here's the reason that many other people have decided fuck the Bengals that I actually like, because serves you right for being a bunch of bitches, Buffalo. Freaking Eli Apple decided to fucking go off on Bills Mafia for the last 3 days straight. He's been dragging Bills Mafia left and right. You know what he started it with? He tweeted Cancun on 3 with the fucking Damar Hamlin heart.
Hey, he's the Pat Bev of the NFL, and I love it.
It's about Eli.
Everybody and all the Giants fans like, man, you fucking suck, and he just keeps being a part of a winning team. I love that nigga, man.
Shout out to Ghost.
Ghost, you are a funny motherfucker.
You only say that because a lot of LSU motherfuckers on that team.
And because he's like you, he likes the Saints. Y'all motherfuckers,
He's a good people.
Love affection with Drew Brees.
Hey man,
you know what Drew Brees did?
Drew.
I'm not. You know what I'm here to talk bad about? Dak Prescott. All right, he did. I'm not gonna feel no. And I hope this negativity fuels you, nigga. Like, look at me. I hope it fuels you. I hope you get so mad you want to prove somebody wrong, and you know where I hope you do it. And fucking Baltimore. I don't care if you win a Super Bowl somewhere else. It's not gonna be here. That star is too bright. You can't see in front of you, nigga.
Who's the Super Bowl pick at this point?
I got the Bengals straight up
versus
Eagles.
I'm gonna go with. I think you know what. I'm gonna go. Look, if I'm gonna go with Pat Mahomes is hurt, so I got to rock with the Bengals. I don't think Pat gonna get it done with the Bengals, so I got the Bengals advancing. But I got the 49ers upsetting the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know why. It's just I feel it, and I think that 49er defense is going to match up well. And they're really going to respond. And they're going to step up to the challenge of Jalen Hurts.
LaMelo.
I would love to see
Jalen.
As fitting end to this conversation. I would love to see Andy Reid choke away another Super Bowl win to his former team.
That would be actually pretty good to watch.
I don't want to see the Philadelphia Eagles win shit. But I do think that they're good enough to get there. After watching that game last week, in all seriousness, I just don't think that there's a way Brock Purdy makes it past two top defenses like that. I saw him play. They got 19, and Dallas should have had about 20. You know what I'm saying?
It'll be interesting to see how Brock Purdy does on the road.
And that's not hating Brock Purdy. I don't think
he's in the playoffs.
I don't think he's trash. I just think that you could tell the difference between the defense he saw last week and then this defense that he's going to see next week may even be better. You know what I'm saying? So I just think I think at some point it gets too much. But hey, it might be Kyle Shanahan's time to coach his way up.
All right. Well, the only thing we got to do is just got to wait and see. Super Bowl's in February. Am I not mistaken? It's in February, right?
February 4th, I believe.
February 4th.
No,
Not February 4th.
Yeah.
Shit.
I think it's like the 12th or 11th.
Week after. Yes, week after.
Yeah.
You get the next week.
So Super Bowl will be then, so we will have to watch and find out. But we will be covering the road to the Super Bowl and then on in our future shows. But we will wrap it up here because I have to get to the emergency room. This has been another episode of Sports Sushi. If you are tuning in and you would like to listen to us, like I said in the beginning, if you tune in through Facebook, it's under Gratwick Podcast Network. If you go, or is it Gratwick Enterprises? Sports Sushi under the Gratwick Podcast Network. And we are available on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and no, we're not on IG.
But don't forget to like and
subscribe.
And we are on IG.
Yes, we are on IG is sports_sushi. We are on Twitter at sports sushi, all one word. You can follow our other co-host Sterling Furlow at Sterling Furlow on all forms of social media. You can find me at DJ Slow Boogie with an I-N-E, not a Y, on Twitter, Snapchat, SoundCloud, Instagram, and Twitter. Where you at, Russ? Where you at?
You already know what it is. It's me. It's Russ J. You can find me on Twitter at RLClimbSP or just start typing in Sports Plug Russ. I'm going to pop up with a 3 at the end. And you can find my IG at sportsplug.russ, kind of like what you see at the bottom of the screen with a dot in the middle of it. But other than that, hey, search, find, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, all that good shit, because we around to give you the shits.
All right, what you got for us, Chris? Where they can find you at?
You bleeding hearts can send your hate tweets to Gratwick Films.
I don't want no hate tweets. If you send me hate tweets, I'm going to send you back pictures of Tina popping that ass.
As my bio says, I tweet you how you tweet me.
All right, man.
My bio says you block, I win. So if you tweet me, just imagine what you're gonna get into. Like you're gonna end up on the losing side of that. You're gonna end up blocking me. But
all right, man. Well, that was another episode of Sports Sushi. Please tune in next week where we will be talking about whether there's a fine line when it comes to little league sports. Do they deserve high publications or a high what's the word I'm looking for?
notoriety.
Notoriety. There it is. My boy Rush picked it right out of my head.
Yeah, I be smart sometimes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So we'll get into that whenever we have our boy Sterling rejoining us, or if not, we will have Chris filling in with us again. Chris, it was a pleasure. You're always a part of the show, whether you're in front of the camera or not. But it's always I always enjoy it whenever you're in front.
Best button pusher in the game.
Sean McDermott, we still gonna come to the barbecue, and Chris gonna come too, but he's not finna fight you. We just gonna eat some ribs.
I tell him straight to his face all of these things.
Oh, God.
Because look, just because you're a shitty coach doesn't mean you're a shitty person.
And you know what? Dak, because you're shit in the playoffs and you choke, doesn't mean that you're a shit person.
See, look, man, y'all, it's growth.
Bro, I wish everybody
You
could see
just
it
can't
that
be
way.
on my sideline.
You just fucking suck at football when it matters. Like, that's it.
All right.
Like,
well, yes, man. So
please ask to be traded for Lamar Jackson.
all right. So we got another episode coming at y'all next Wednesday, man. So please tune in. Same place, same time. See y'all later.
Go be great.
All right, fellas.